Your accountant or bookkeeper is going paperless this year, and they're taking you with them. And the best part of all is they're paying for this. So what we would like you to do is start sending all of your documents to us by scan or fax if you have to, if you don't have a scanner. But we're going to be able to manage your documents, get paper out of your office, and reduce the amount of time it takes to do your work. Let's look at the computer screen. I'll give you an example of how this is going to work. You'll see the Delegation Magic is designed to do three things. Take you paperless, and that's what we're talking about today. It also has a delegation system and work tracking system that your accountant uses. The on-the-fly operations manual is if you're using the complete full-service document management, and that's in Training 3. Today what we want to do is get rid of headaches and bookkeeping pieces of paper off your desk and send them to your accountant every day if possible so that they can stay on top of your work. What we'd like to do is see this mess gone so that you can focus on those things that work. What will happen is that you'll simply clear your desk and dump all your documents onto our secure server. We've been there since 1995. We have a long relationship with document servers at iNetU. Now, all you have to do is scan to the email address that I sent you. Every scanner has an option, scan to email. Send it right in to the address that I sent you. If you don't own a scanner, you can use your fax machine. Click on one of the buttons to the right that says fax to email or Maximail, or what is the best scanner to buy. Then we also recommend that eventually you actually get all of your vendors to send documents in directly, and we'll even help with this because we want the vendor to send documents in. By the way, so do they. And you're going to find that your customers are actually going to start sending documents in by fax or scanner as well. Pretty soon, you may not even have any mail. What happens is all the documents go into the red page on Delegation Magic, and since we're only working on bookkeeping documents, this will be the only column that we're going to be concerned with for today's training. The documents go into the system and they go to my dot, and this is where the 15 cents for reading a piece of paper comes from. Now, I'll tell you why that is such a good deal. Because when a piece of paper comes into your office, it actually costs you $1.04, and this is a small company. Bigger companies, the cost is even higher. But in your small business, when you receive a piece of paper, to look at that and put into a manila file folder actually costs you a burden rate of $1.04. We're taking that piece of paper and taking care of its entire life cycle in your business for a total fee of 15 cents. What's even better, your accountant or bookkeeper is paying the 15 cents. Let's go back to the screen. Our document technician will read the document and then they will assign it to the correct person in the bookkeeping cycle in order to do the work. They actually read every single piece of paper by hand. This is the biggest benefit of all of using Delegation Magic. We don't use scanners and optical character recognition because they're only accurate between 95 and 97% of the time. But somebody reading the document by hand can actually read some of the important keyword information like job costing or the customer refund account or personal notes that are written on a document, and they can do a much better job. As a matter of fact, their accuracy rate is at 99.5%. That means 1 error out of every 200 instead of 10 errors out of every 200 documents using optical character recognition. So hand reading is far superior. And best of all, your accountant's paying for it. So what they're going to do, let's go back to the screen, is they're going to actually read it and say, this is from a vendor. The vendor's name is Home Depot. It's a credit memo. It's on the Tobacco Road project. The amount is $218. They'll set the date. And the very last thing they'll do is they'll assign the person in your bookkeeping skill chain who is supposed to do basic data entry. We believe in a process called bottom-up workflow. This is a brand new idea that we actually have patent pending on. All documents that come into the business start at the lowest paid person on your skill chain. And that person actually works for me, and they bill 15 cents to your accountant or bookkeeper to read, manage, organize, scan, and set up for retrieval every piece of paper in your business. Then they assign the work to the lowest paid person in your bookkeeping skill chain. If you're on full service bookkeeping, that's going to be your accountant and they're one of their employees. If you're doing the work in your office, This is the 80% of the work that is enter a bill, pay a bill. This is the kind of work that everybody can do. But whenever this person runs into any kind of a problem, using the delegation magic process, if they have a document that they don't understand, they're going to bump it up to the manager or the senior bookkeeper. And if you're using our system, you might even be able to ask the accountant over the internet, how do we handle this complicated transaction, rather than just bury it or ignore it and realize your financial statements at the end of the year don't make any sense. Of course, then at the top of our skill chain are the CPA at your accountant's office, or the bookkeeper, or the CEO in your business, who is actually making the last 2% of the decisions or 2% of the work. This bottom-up technology is designed to keep the owner of the firm working on those things that drive wealth and not details. So once we have this workflow completed from the bottom up, and that's all accounting documents are, workflow documents, then the completed financials can go back to Delegation Magic. So our process right now is very simple. You're going to send in all your bookkeeping documents, even if they're 3-up checks, and you're on write-up and we do the work for you at the end of the month and give you a financial statement. Then when you get done writing the 3 checks, open the 3-ring binder, take the check stub out, and throw it on the fax machine. We'll know what it's for, and it'll go right into the correct place because we have a human being reading it, looking at it, naming it, assigning it to the correct person, so the right person has the work. One of the big advantages to your accountant is that work levels out over the month. You know, if you bring a big bag or box of stuff into your accountant on the 10th and you want it back by the 15th, they've got overtime. But if we've got work coming in all year long and all month long, then whenever we have downtime, we can go over to your work and get a few check stubs out of the way. So what will happen, let's go back to the screen, is that tonight, when you send in any bookkeeping document, they're going to read that document and then send it over to the proper person in the skill chain to do the bookkeeping. At any time, you can look at your Delegation Magic and see how many pages are sitting there open that need tended to. Now, there are 4 types of pages that happen in a business. An open page means that the document has come in, but nobody's done any work on it. A review page means that somewhere in that skill chain, the document is getting bumped up. And that means it's something difficult. It wasn't just a simple enter a bill and pay a bill. It was a piece of paper that created a question. So the data entry may have sent it to the bookkeeper. The bookkeeper might have had to send it up to the boss. But somehow this document is going up or down the skill chain. A closed document means that the work's done, the page is posted, and everything is done with. Clarification needed. Now, this is extremely clever. Once in a while, we have clients that send us documents, and we've got a big question mark on what the heck did you mean about that? So we simply click the document, clarification needed, and then an email is sent out to you immediately, and it says, we don't understand what you were trying to do here. You might send us a document where you sold something, an invoice, you sold something that you don't even sell. Well, we're going to have a few questions about that. Or you might be going along and all of a sudden your electric bill is $200 a month, $200 a month, $220 a month, and all of a sudden you get a $2,500 electric bill. That's outside of the range. And so we're going to send that electric bill back to you and say, is there a problem here? So this is real simple though, because we're not going to call you on the phone. That's called a friction point. We stop working, you stop working. Most of the time we play phone tag, and so then our receptionist stops working, and everybody's involved in trying to make this communication. What we do here is we simply take that document, click clarification needed, and an email goes out to you. We've made notes on the problem document. When you have time, I don't even care if it's 2 o'clock in the morning, when you have time, click on that email. Our errant document opens up on your screen, and you can just answer, oh, here's why the bill is so high, or I've got to call the electric company and find out why it's $2,500 this month. But the whole idea is to remove friction points out of your life. Paper stacked up all over on your desk is a friction point. Looking for paper is a friction point. Having to call people and say, would you look at this document, is a friction point. And we remove these from our accountant's office by going paperless, and as a watershed event, we're doing the same thing in your office. We're removing friction points from your life. Now let's go back to our screen. If I ever want to look at a document, I can simply open up my master dashboard where my entire accounting documents reside. And remember, we're only on our right-hand column now. If you're using our full service document management, we'll also talk about documents in marketing and production. But for accounting, if I want to look at a document, I simply type in, let's say Wells Fargo or INETU, and then as soon as I click send, the most likely documents come up on the screen. I can check any of these documents and the full-blown PDF pops up. And so in 3 clicks, in about 1 second or 2, I'm able to see any piece of paper that I have in existence. So there's no more stacks of paper, there's no more lost pages, and there's no filing cabinets sucking up the floor space. On the left side of the screen, I'll see the original source document. On the right side, I'll see a SQL database. And this dialog box includes how we named the page, what we're doing to get the work done on that page, if there are any notes about the work on this page, and an audit trail. Now, the nice thing I like about an audit trail is a lot of times we don't understand why accounting costs so much to get done. If you go into the audit trail, you'll be able to see exactly how much time your accountant or bookkeeper spent on every single transaction that comes through. Now, that's not the total amount of time they spend doing work for you, because a lot of time is spent in analysis or planning. But on basic intra-bill, pay-a-bill, what a great way to see where your friction points are. You might have some customers or some salespeople that are generating a lot of conflict in the accounting cycle, and you're going to be able to isolate those now, because every time there's a friction point, the clock is running. Now, let's go back to a screen. If you have to do a little bit more complicated search, like let's say you want to see all your charitable contributions, then you'll type in the keywords charity, and ask for all of the events that happened in 2010, for example, and a list will come up divided by the charity that you gave money to. So you can add this up quickly, see if there's anybody you should have sent a little bit more money to, or see if you're overpaying or making some contributions that you didn't really intend to. All you do is click on any line item, the document pops up again. But this is the most exciting part of all. You can actually access documents from any other software program you use, whether it's accounting software or customer contact software, maybe it's a CAD/CAM software, or legal marketing or legal production, legal form software. All you need to do is, when you have the software, well, let's go to the screen and I'll show you. When the other software is open, if you need to see this document from Chris Markley, you can simply highlight and drag to the search bar down at the bottom the name. And in just a few seconds, your document management opens up. You click on what looks like the most appropriate document, or click on all of them and open them all 3 up, and there's the document. Now, this is so slick and easy because it's going to make it, it's going to make it easy for you to look at any source document ever. There's no more running up and down the hall for filing cabinets. There's no more going around the office to see who has a piece of paper. There's no more digging through stacks of paper on your desk, because everything is available to everybody within seconds. But there's more to this. Now, let's go back to our screen. We can actually use this to assign tasks to our accountant. We can ask our bookkeeper or accountant to do something for us. We can get tasks back from them, like, we didn't receive your bank statement this month, where is it at? Or we can deal with these clarification needed pages. And I just want to touch on this real quick. If we want to give our accountant or bookkeeper a task, even if they're working in your office, these people may be in your office, you can use the delegation magic without sending all of your work to your accountant or bookkeeper. They just want your business to run faster, smoother, and better. So if you want to assign a task like, did we pay the electric bill? Or would you send out an invoice? Or would you try that collection again? All you need to do is click on task, and a form opens, and you simply type in on the form, here's what I'd like to do. That task goes into the bottom of the workflow if you send it to your accountant, and his page looks a little bit different than yours because he's managing the accounting or bookkeeping for many clients, but the concept is exactly the same. The task goes right into the workflow, and when one of his staff people come to work, they simply click on today's jobs that I've got to do, and it will open up for them. This holds true for your office, and I know it's true in your accountant's office. If you've got somebody working at a desk we highly recommend that you move to dual monitors. Now, the interesting thing about back office work is that with dual monitors and a document management system, you can actually move the time it takes to get work done from 8 hours of work can be compressed into the 3 to 5 hour range. So there's a lot of advantage to it, and it's not very expensive, but your accountant uses dual monitors. Let's go back to the screen. I'll show you how that works. When your task comes in, whoever it was assigned to clicks on their daily work list. The task comes up, they can see all the data in the SQL database, and they've got the accounting software or tax software on the other screen. They've got 3 simple little decisions. I can go ahead and complete this job, I can ask the client what they wanted by this job, or I can bump this job up to the boss because it's beyond me and I don't understand it. All we need from you to get started on this is to go to your QuickBooks and download a list of all of your customers and all of your vendors. And the reason we'll use this is because when we name these pages, we want to pre-populate our drop-down menu with all the people that you do business with. And the reason for that is because we're hoping that we make accurate naming. So when we see a Home Depot come in, all we have to do is type HO. It searches through your list of vendors and customers, and if somebody matches, then it auto-populates the field. This will make sure that we make far fewer errors. So to get started doing the bookkeeping, send in documents today, but sometime in the next few days, you may ask your accountant to do this, or maybe you can, but if you will simply download all your customers and all your vendors into an Excel spreadsheet, and then upload that. Matter of fact, that could be one of your very first documents that you upload. Well, let's make it the second, because I'm hoping you can do a test document today. Upload the list, and we'll import it into your red page so this is taken care of. One of the most important things here is that we're a 24/7 in the background service. We're not dumping the management of the software. We're not teaching you how to load software in your computer. We don't even want you to learn software. All we want you to do is dump documents on your scanner, scan them to email, and then we take care of everything for you in the background. And your accountant is paying for it. So let's go back to our screen one more time here. And this is going to be so much easier for you to take care of bookkeeping in the future. All of your documents simply get dumped, and then they're read and managed in the skill chain from your accountant's point of view. The dot is at the bottom, and the dot works for me. If you have bookkeepers in your office, they're going to be the person that's in the middle who does 80% of the work, maybe 95% of the work, and your accountant will be at the top where they will complete the work and then post it back to the document management system in a secure file so that you can analyze it and use it in the future. The Delegation Magic will take you paperless. It's a great way to delegate work, and it allows you to set up a how we do things here instruction manual. All we need to do to start is send a document. Now, I gave you an email when we opened the system. Send one document, throw it on your scanner. If you don't own a scanner, we recommend you buy one. If you have to use a fax, read the buttons on the screen next to us about using a fax to email service, but send something in to that email address as a PDF. Now, your documents should all be PDF, but most of your scanners are set up to do that automatically. You send in the PDF file, and then we'll read it, we'll name it, and we'll assign it to the person that's responsible for the first level of data entry, and then you'll see how the process works. All of a sudden, you're going to become a much cleaner, easier, and cheaper operation. You're going to be able to run your business faster and better. This is Casey Truby. We work here to help our accountants and to help their clients keep their cash register ringing.